Hey, and welcome back to the Shade Night Show. I am super happy to have you here today. So come on in, and get in where you fit in, because I've always got room right around my table for you, your friends, and your frenemies. So go ahead, like, share, start a watch party. Run and tell somebody that Lotus for Shade Nights is hot on the box. I'm going to encourage you, grab your notebook and grab your pen, because I always say note takers are money makers and note takers are change makers. All right. Oh, hold it on. The Lotus for Shade, ignite. Hey, come on in. Tell a friend. Hello, everybody. This your girl, Lotus for Shade. I'm back here to say, come on in and get in where you fit in, because I've always got room right around my table for you. And go ahead and tell your friends and tell your frenemies to come on in. Why? Because it's time to win. And as I always say, let me go ahead and get my notepad. Get your notepad and get you a pen. Or get a few pens. Get a marker, get an eyebrow pen, get a lipstick, whatever you need. I would say lip gloss, but don't get lip gloss, because the ladies know lip gloss is sticky. Guys, y'all know that too. When we kiss, or our significant others, let's say that. When we kiss, you know the lip gloss is sticky. All right, now I'm going back to the pens. Pens, markers, whatever. But make sure you take notes, because note takers are change makers. But remember, you've got to take action on the notes that you're taking, because if you don't put those in action, guess what? Nothing happens. So this evening, I have the amazing ability, the blessing, the gratitude, the amazing wherewithal to have a phenomenal lady here with me tonight. She is from the Boogie Down Bronx. Now, look, y'all, when she first came in the studio, I had done the broadcast earlier, and I put Brooklyn. Not that there's nothing wrong with being from Brooklyn, but she made sure I put the Boogie Down Bronx in there. So if any of you are from the Boogie Down Bronx, make sure you let us know when you come in. And if you know somebody from the Boogie Down Bronx, let us know. So tonight, we are going to have a fantastic show as we talk about the power of your mindset. And not just the power of your mindset when it comes to your personal life, we're also talking about your business life, even your spiritual life, or your oneness life with yourself. Did y'all just catch that? Yes, the oneness life with yourself. And she is the perfect person to make it happen. So I'm getting ready to put my specs on. And I know y'all saying, Lolo, what's in the cup? What's in the cup? I'll tell you what's in my cup if you share with me what's in your cup. Put in the comment. Tonight, I'm having just some hot water with lemon. Ooh, yes. And if you don't have your Ignite cup, go ahead and get your Ignite cup. Don't wait. Ignite and take flight in the tea of your life. And yeah, it's kind of hot in here, right? Because I'm drinking hot tea. Ooh. So that is delicious. So as you come on in, get in where you fit in, and tell a friend that Lotus Roche is hot on the box, because I'm getting ready to bring my guest on. So before we bring my guest on, I would love for you to go ahead and tag a friend. So go ahead now. You got 30 seconds. Tag a friend. Tell them to come on in. It's time to win with the Lotus Roche Ignite Show. Go ahead and share this broadcast with someone you know, someone you like, someone you love. Share it with a friend and share it with a frenemy. It is giving you about 15, 14, 13, 12, 11 seconds to go ahead and share it with someone you know, share it with someone you know, share it with someone you know and care about. So come on in and let us know the friend you've shared it with. So when you come in, make sure you put it in there, call somebody out and tell them to come on in without a doubt. So I'd like you to know a little bit about the guest that I have that's coming on with me tonight. Her name is none other than the remarkable Dr. Nyla G. Baraki. She is an amazing author. She's a speaker. She's a neuropath educator. She's an LMHC. If you don't know what that means, wait till she come on the broadcast. Don't ask me. So she's a holistic professional healing artist. She's a practitioner. She's a CRC, which is certified rehabilitation counselor. That's right. I know what that is. Y'all know that's what I do. And she's an addiction counselor too. She's a Reiki master, and she's the owner of Shirake. I probably didn't say that right. But she's going to tell me. Shakire Wellness Collaborative LLC. And tonight she's here with you and she's here with me. And we're going to get this party started just right. So come on in and tell a friend. Go ahead and come in and get in where you fit in. Because I always say, I have room around my table just for you, your friends and your frenemies. Why am I bringing inspiration to every nation? Because I can, and so can you. So come on and put a 2 in the comment, because we're about to let it do what it's going to do.
You ready?
Oh, it's that time.
You got me running, got me
We
running.
got a hit tonight, y'all. Dr. Nana Milwaukee.
Raise your hands up.
Author, coach, therapist is here with us this evening as we talk about some holistic professional healing art things. You know, she's a certified health educator coach too. She's the coach that gives us the most, and tonight she's going to share it with you right here as we discuss the power of your mindset. So hold on tight, because it's time to ignite and take flight in every area of your life. Welcome, Dr. Nyla Baraki. Woo!
Hey! So exciting.
Awesome. I love it. Woo! That's all I got to say. Welcome to the show, Doc.
Thank you for having me. God bless you. I was watching you earlier. You bring so much to so many, and it's true all over the world. So much excitement. I so enjoyed earlier today, and I had that in my mind to share right along with, with mindset when she was talking about visioning, because that's important, as well. So we're going to talk. There's a lot to talk about. I don't think we can talk about all of this in one show.
Exactly. So, I had to let the folks know that you're from the Boogie Down Bronx.
Yes, I was very disturbed, when I saw Brooklyn. And I have relatives in Brooklyn, and they do understand that, but they call it Boogie Down now, but we used to call it the Bronx. And it had a title because it is the mainland of New York. All the rest of them are on the island, but Bronx is the Bronx.
The Bronx.
It's the mainland.
So if you're feeling the fire already, folks, go ahead and put the Bronx in the comment box. The Bronx. Okay. Later on down the rap artists, they got a hold of it and they call it the Boogie Down, right?
Yeah, that came later when we the heartbeat of breakdancing. So that's when we got that. But I keep up. So
I love it. I
love it too. I love it.
Fantastic. So of course you've been here on the show before with the news you can use. You're always bringing great info to us, Doc, and you're just so amazing. And I've shared a bit about you with our viewers all around the world, but I would love for you to take a moment and share some more about what you do and who you are. And then we going right to the hot seat.
Oh, that hot seat is hot. And you laid it out, but this is there's a lot of things that I have done, and people say, oh, how could you have done all that? But you're talking about 40 plus years of doing this work, and Reiki, and doing Reiki from the 80s. And I always when it comes to mindset, I always felt like I wanted to learn more, because as I began to work with people in healing and in my own healing path, there was always something missing. And in Western medicine, it's so many compartments that you can't get to the whole person. So that took me into mental health, and rehabilitation and career counseling. I felt that to be, essential, especially with people with disabilities. That's my heart. I love working with people with disabilities. But mental health is our wealth. It is, that's gold.
Yes.
And we bring that from home to work, to the families, love affairs, divorces, and every which way we go. So I felt that it was, for me, people say, oh, you study all these things, but for me, it's all one thing: body, mind, spirit, heart is everything. It's all one. And if
Yes,
you're not addressing one and you leave out the other, you will
exactly.
find there's a price to pay for that, and you wonder,
Yeah,
what it is. But your
exactly.
topic covers it: the power of your mindset.
Yes, yes. And I am so happy to even be talking about this topic because a lot of people don't like to talk about mindset because there are a lot of wavering opinions. And it's okay because we need those opinions to really help us to do a lot of critical thinking. So, folks, we're going to get right into it. But before we get into it, I'd love for you to give Dr. Baraki some love. So, give us some L's, give us some hearts, send us some kisses, do all of those things. Send us some love. I double dog dare you to put some L's in the comment block
Ooh.
below. All right, so we're getting ready to dive deep right inside of the show. And I want to welcome each and every one of you and thank you for joining the show. And if you haven't reached out and touched somebody and told them, hey, come on in here, come to the Ignite show and get right and tight, go ahead and do that. But let's get going, Doc. I'd like to go right to what is mindset as
Uh,
you see it, as you see it.
well, there's we have a defined definition of, mindset. And some people say, oh, it's a buzzword, it's new, but it really is not. And I'll talk about all the other old names of it. But mindset is, there are a set of beliefs that shape your world. This is how people make sense of the world, through their
Mhm.
mindset. And a lot of time it influences how you think and feel. And sometimes people really believe that how they feel is that their feelings follow the thought, but it's your
Yeah.
thought and the feelings follow that. And you create a mindset. So some people get very stuck on the mindset because they want
Right.
to remain the same, but they may not understand that they may be sabotaging, themselves. So they
Exactly.
may not be accountable and they may put it on you, because they don't want to change. So when
Exactly.
we talk about mindset, in mental health, we talk about, some people that are fixed,
Hmm.
growth. And then we have people who have the ability to be flexible, and open. So for instance,
Hmm.
if I say to you, this is, either I'm good at this or not, that's a fixed mindset. But if
Exactly.
I say to you, I don't know anything about this, but I'm willing to learn so I can be my best at it. But the fixed mindset is saying, well, if you can't do it good now, you won't be able to do it good later. So you might as well give
Exactly.
up on that. So there's a lot of, fixed, mindsets. And the growth mindset is that, if I believe it, I can do it. If I don't
You can
know
do
it,
it.
I can learn it,
Exactly.
and have the
Exactly.
abilities, so we don't limit ourselves. So there are some people who won't do anything else because in their mind they believe that this is not for me. If this is meant for me, I
Hmm.
would be able to do it easily. Well, that's not necessarily true.
All right. Fantastic. And for
Yeah.
many of you scholars out there, we always like to go right to Webster or something like that and give you a little taste of what they're saying. And so what they're saying, it says indecision theory and general system theory, a mindset is a set of assumptions, methods, or notions held by one or more people or groups of people in cognitive psychology. A mindset represents the cognitive processes activated in response to a given task. Uh, and that was given to us by the French interpretation 2016. That's right. We like to let you know where we
That's
getting our
great.
stuff from. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that lets us know that people really lean on their theories, their assumptions, their methods, and their notions. And oftentimes our mindset can change. And Dr. Baraki, I know that's something that you work with people on in what you do to help them change their mindset if they have a negative mindset and get to a more positive and positively serving of the individual. So I love that. So my question was, what is a relationship between people and their mindset? And I wanted, you and I were backstage early and we were talking. And when I
Hmm.
brought that up, he was like, that's pretty good. Because, a lot of times people don't understand first their mindset. A lot of times they have a negative mindset, and some people have a positive mindset. but they don't understand, why am I where I'm at? Okay. And the relationship between them, the person, and their mindset is essential. So, can you explain what is a relationship between people and their mindset?
Well, I'm laughing because I'm thinking
That's a
about
hard question, y'all.
I'm laughing because I'm thinking about schizophrenic, me, myself, and I. But really, it is it's exactly, it is that. And a lot of times, if you're operating, it's sort of like having an outdated computer and you're operating out of the old system, and that
Yes.
system is not working for you, but you refuse to even engage in the new system just to find out how change might affect you, how it might be better for you. And so you stick with that and you'll self-sabotage. And which is, when you say cognitive, that's one of the basic mental health counseling the theories that we use,
Right.
and we challenge that. We challenge the reality. And you know what? A lot of times we find with clients that if they lose that relationship with their mindset that they have already established, they're not sure who they would be with this new relationship.
Exactly.
And that could be very, very frightening. And this shows up a lot, especially amongst entrepreneurs, and business. People that work, they're 80% of the time is spent working, on jobs or in your own business. And you can constantly confronting your mindset, but you don't think about that. You are banging your head against the wall and you're saying just what you said, why are things not working? What is going on? But, if you could consider that the relationship between you and the way that you're thinking, your mindset, because they call it a buzzword, but it's real because you just read it from the French dictionary, that it's real. If they would reconsider that, if I change the way I think about something and begin to revision, which is what earlier, I love that show, begin to revision something new, that things will change. Now, do you have to believe it at first? Not necessarily. But if you try it on and it begins to work for you, maybe you'll want more of it and do more of it. So I think that it's important that we begin to look at that relationship, because sometimes we're on automatic pilot. We go, we do things, we do things, and we don't think about our relationship with our mind. We'll say things like, this is how I am, as though nothing will ever change. Exactly. This is how I am, this is how I do it. And if somebody doesn't like it, I don't have to, they used to say you have to work hard. And then they said you have to work smart. And the people who were working hard was resistant, because now you want to be so smart. You think you're better than me. You think you're smarter than me. Right. But it's just a shift. Just like we were talking in the back about mindset. And I was saying to you, do you remember some of the old terms, which was narrow-minded? Yes. So I looked up some of the old terms of mindset. And they had things like unenlarged, and it sounded like a thyroid or somebody's head or something. And then they had peninsulary, and which is an old English Oxford term, and it's a type of narrow-mindedness that when you bring it into a broad range, the ideal is that you lived one way, that if you change, you would be isolated from the rest of the world. Right. And that happens with people. That's another challenge, is that when you begin to change your mindset, you may lose a few people. Everybody can't agree with you as you move upward and onward, because they want to stay where they are because it's a comfort zone. Right. And we call the comfort zone the dead zone.
Yes. And Dr. Baraki, I tell people this frequently. When you change what you think about changes. And so when your mindset changes, guess what? Your behaviors change. Oftentimes your friendships changes, the way you feel about things, and what you tolerate in your life often changes too. And that could be one of the main reasons why sometimes you just lose friends.
So you see emotionally how hard that could be.
Oh, yeah.
Don't want to give that up, and still you're not getting fed and you're not making the changes you need, because you continuously holding them hostage, because you know that you need to move on and grow. But wait. You're not going to go on from there. Did y'all hear what she just said? Oh my God.
Doc, you said that you're holding people hostage sometimes.
Yeah.
Wow. If you guys heard what she said, and you know someone who's doing that or has done it, or you yourself has done it, come on, we transparent here on the Ignite Show. Put a number 3 in the block. Put a number 3 in the comment block. And here's another thing, Doc. When you said that, my mind said, am I holding my own self hostage too?
Yes.
Am I holding my own self hostage? Wow.
Yes. In order to hold somebody else hostage, you have to hold yourself back, hold yourself hostage as well. And then you can become resentful and angry, and you're not sure why, but it's because you know that you need to grow and move on. And separation pain is real.
Exactly.
Separation pangs, are real, but move on we must. Move on we must. And everybody, as we move up and onward, everybody doesn't want to go in our direction, but it's okay. Everybody's on their own path. Wow. And it may not look like yours, but that doesn't mean we won't meet somewhere else again.
Exactly.
So these are choices that that we have to make when it comes, in regards to mindset. The hardest thing, it's just crazy. The hardest thing that to change is your mind. People will sit and they'll share with you, I'm a diabetic, I got high blood pressure. They reveal all of that. Mindset, it's like under the cover.
Yep.
Under the cover. And you would think that when people come in for therapy that they would reveal all, but people come to therapy and they try us out. They lie.
Right.
People say, what? Right. They lie. Yeah, it's a testing pad. They lie because they want to defend their mindset. Even if people are hurting, if they're hurting other people and they're hurting themselves, and there are consequences, and they would rather pay the consequences and stay the same than make the change that would set them free.
Ooh. Wow.
Set them free. Yeah. The mindset is so important. Most of the work that we do is mindset. People tell me, well, I get up in the morning, I don't want to go to work, but I go. Mm-hmm. Then they say, you know what, I should go to the dentist to take care of my tooth, but I don't feel like going. I ain't gonna do that.
But you don't go to work because you want them dollars, because you want to feed, but you feeding sugar to that same tooth that's hurting, but you won't go and get that taken care of.
And you can't chew.
Right. And yank that tooth.
Mindset.
So Dr. Oh my
People
God.
will share that with you in a heartbeat.
Amen. Wow. So folks, if you're feeling it and you know what we're talking about, or you want to help somebody really understand themselves with their mindset, go ahead and put a 4 in the comment block below. Come on, this is an interactive show. Let's go, y'all. So, I know we've got a couple more questions, and I want to take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back. But here's the question that I want to ask you. Why is it imperative for people to understand and have a great relationship with their mindset? And we kind of talked on that a little bit. This is not just a question for Dr. Baraki. This is a question for all of you. Yeah. If you think that you know why it's imperative for people to understand and have a great relationship with their own mindset, I want you to put it in the chat, because she's already given you some nibbles. She's giving you some nibbles on that. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're coming right to all of you that's out there. So send us some L's, send us some hearts, put some love in the comment block below. And we want to hear you say hello. Make sure you let us know where you coming in from. Let us know who you pulling in, who you tagging, or whatever you're doing, because we want to know. So look, we'll be right back. Rugged Wellness. We all know that drinking water helps you replenish your body's fluids. And there's a great technology that actually does this stuff. They developed a process that helps improve your immune system just by drinking water. Yep, and it gives you the opportunity to expand your stream of income. So be a part of our family. That's right. And expand your reach and raise your revenue
You got me running, got me running.
She's here, the magnificent Dr. Nyla, doing her thing, baby. She's coming to the hot seat and put cool ice on it. That's right. She's here from a holistic standpoint as she uses some of her certified health educator coaching to coach all of us all around the world as we talk about what? The power of your mindset. So come on, baby, and get in where you fit in right here on the Lotus Crochet Ignite Show. Woo! Let's get it. Come on. All right.
I was thinking, you remember back in the day, you remember tunnel vision?
Yes.
Remember that term, tunnel vision?
Yes.
You know, where people, you know, they care about one thing at the expense of pretty much everybody else. And it's a flaw that blinds people because they, you know, they don't have the facts, they have their own ideas, but they also thinking about what they've learned. Because, you know, a lot of stuff that we think over time is we have inherited from family, ancestors, and things that we're supposed to do or how it's supposed to look. And we step outside of our own mindset so that we can incorporate all these things. And one would say, you know, we get lost, but we're still in here. So we're not lost. We just kind of misplaced ourselves with everybody else's stuff. We kind of layered ourselves with, you know, other, you know, people's thoughts. So we get caught up in that narrow mind and everybody else's thoughts. And we're just trying to figure out, like, what am I really supposed to do? What is my path? I get that a lot. What am I here to do? What is my purpose? Well, the purpose, what you were asking, is about, you know, your mindset. The Bible says, know thyself. That's a mission. That's part of our task. Ourselves, regardless of, you know, not in spite of everybody else, but we need to know who we truly are so we can be in touch with how we feel so we can grow and learn from that. That's important.
All right. Yep, that's awesome. So let's get right into our viewers. We want to say hi to all of you. We always like to thank Angela LT woo from DC. And thank you, Angie, for being here. And Tina Ezel is here. She said, hey, right back at you. And she said, not from the boogie down Bronx, but from
New York. I got a lot of family in that.
Or do or die. And we have the remarkable Jill Jacobs Reynolds. She's here. She said, love to you. Love to all to you're all from Branson, Missouri. Well, love right back to you. And of course, we ask people to put some stuff in the comments, put their number 2s if they're rolling with us and understand what we're saying. And we got some 2s. Folks coming in saying hi, Dr. Baraki. Lourdes Melendez Gomez, beautiful Baraki. That's right. That's right.
Put that Bronx up in there. Yeah. Come on, the sister.
All right. And Tina says she's pulling in folks. Ms. Anderson, Dominique Deal, Annette Warner, Melissa Janey. Good to see you. Jump on in and get in where you fit in. And she pulled someone else in, Nia Tosha Miller, Janet Blackman. That's what I'm talking about. That's how you come in the house. All right. Lourdes, go ahead and pull some folks in. We appreciate you. And look who else is here. The remarkable Dr. Selena Pinashimo. She was born in the Bronx.
I'm telling you.
All right. And Jill said, I am glad I'm here to get to know you better and learn about mindset. And the Colonel is in the house. Dr. Margaret Fournier is here all the way from San Antonio, Texas. That's right. That's right. Great to see you. And Dr. Trina Brown is here. Good to see you, Dr. Trina Brown, and so many others. And we're going to get to see you. Hello, Miss Harriet. Always happy to have you here on the show with us. Wow. Super duper. I'm so happy to see so many of you here. Keep on keeping on. I see Dr. DJ Mike J here, and all the way from Chi-Town, the queen of the lymphatic bounce is here, Miss Hillary Gooden. That's right. Pearl K. Harragen. That's right. All right, so we're going to get back into it, folks. If you are just joining us, thank you for joining us tonight. I have the amazing Dr. Nyla Baraki from the Boogie Down Bronx, the Bronx. Okay, and we are talking about the power of the mindset. And thus
Yeah.
far, we've talked a bit about what is the mindset. We talked about what is a relationship between people and their mindset. And now she's back in the hot seat and she's going to talk more to us about why is it imperative. Imperative, it's critical, it's crucial. It must be done for people to understand and have a great relationship with their own mindset. Because here's the thing, junk in, junk out. We have to guard our mindset. We have to guard what we allow to come into our minds because it's a reflection of who we become and it spews out to our lives on the outside. And that's all I'm going to say because Dr. Baraki is in the hot seat. Dr. Baraki.
I want to talk a little bit about some research that talked about, kids receiving the types of praise they receive in regards to how they develop their mindset. And so kids who were praised with, oh, you're so smart, they receive that type of praise. And it turns out that either when something becomes very challenging, they can't do it, they really can suffer from anxiety and depression because there's an expectation that they be smart. But when they have, either you have the ability or you don't because you're supposed to be smart. So, so failure, the word failure usually may not be an option. And so they may come up with secret shame because they feel as though they're not living up to the parents' expectation.
Right.
And they grow up with the same expectation, just transfers into work and in relationships. I'm not good enough. Or, maybe I'm not worthy. All of these things are part of mindset. Everyone that, when we see people, clients in the entrepreneurs of business, and we're helping them to develop their business, that mindset, that secret shame, all of that gets, it gets in the way. And it doesn't go away because someone gives you some inspiration. Inspiration is great, but it's deeper. The work is deeper than that. So then when they just tell them, on the other hand, they emphasize that they're accomplished, they did it, whether it's the A, B, or C, you did it, you finished a project, you completed, then they have a greater sense of self-worth. And as they grow up, they bring that into the world. So it's not, it implies that they can be successful due to their effort and strategy rather than you're smart, either you get it done right or you don't. And that becomes very important with that relationship with yourself. Whether you feel like a failure, you make a mistake and it becomes very dramatic, or you feel as though, somebody wrote that, or either you feel as though, that didn't work, I need a different strategy, and you're open. So that's growth. The other is that limited mindset, that narrow mind, that tunnel vision, whereas I'm a failure, I attempted to do it, didn't work, so it doesn't work. So getting to know yourself, I like to reference the Bible. I wish I could remember the whole phrase, but know thyself is important because in this, we have that to be human and divine, but in this human experience, we actually need to not do things so perfectly sometimes. Things fall apart, but if it doesn't fall apart, then how can you build it? You have to know how to put it back together again. Exactly. It can't just be perfect. Like some people say, well, it's not perfect, so it's not good enough. But when will it ever be good enough? So we have to.
Here's the thing too, Doc. If we're so focused and we're so bent on perfection, I don't think if we're doing everything perfect that we really get to the moments of gratitude we need to really arrive to by doing something and not doing it so great, and then being able to do it and reap the benefits of achieving it in stellar fashion. I think we really have to be careful about what we ask for, because a lot of times we say, oh, I just want everything to be perfect. Well, if everything is perfect, there's a little part of gratitude that you'll never embrace because you're so busy being perfect. You don't give yourself space to discover some things about you that you never knew were possible.
Well, that's why we say perfection is the perfect lie.
Woo! Can you say that again?
Perfection is the perfect lie.
Yes, it is.
It's the perfect lie because then it becomes an expectation that you'll never meet.
Exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
so
And if
you
you
know,
guys, hold on, if you guys agree with that, put a 5 in the comment. And Doc, can you say that one more time?
perfection is the perfect lie.
I like that. I like that. If you agree, put a 5 in the comment block below. Awesome. Awesome.
So if we
So
don't
Doc,
get one,
go
I can
ahead.
say it differently.
I love it. So folks, they getting it. They getting it. And I think Tina said, I like that. I like that. And she also said, so true. Perfection is the perfect lie. And she put her 5 in there too. She working
Oh,
double duty.
thank
All
you.
right, DJ Mike J. Perfection is the perfect lie. That one. 5. So he likes that one too. All right, fantastic. We got some 5 streaming in. So fantastic. So Doc, I know you were going to say something else. Please continue with what you said, and then we're going to jump right into the next question of the night.
You know, the beautiful thing about things not being what we call perfect on this realm, and I'll say this realm because we're here in the earth realm, is
Yes.
that when things are not perfect or they don't go the way you want, a lot of times something better is allowed to come
It's on the
in if
way.
your
Yep.
mindset, if you're open to it.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're narrow minded and you just really believe that you get to the end of yourself, because see, some people only believe in their own effort, and if that doesn't work, then that's it, you know, and they give up and they lose the opportunity to learn and grow. You know,
Yep.
this is how we become smarter, and you know, and how we grow and how we learn and how we
Right.
create and how we vision. And I have to talk a little bit about visioning. I heard someone on your show talked about it earlier. It was wonderful. I need to hear more about it. It's great because when kids and young people and us as we get older, and you have that mindset where you have to be smart. Either you are or you not. Everything
You're
is
not
black
right.
and white, which the world is not. But some people do believe that things are black and white. But you lose the ability to dream and
Yes.
to see anything differently because
Yes.
that's been taken away from you. It's black and white. So you forget to vision. So in my practice with business owners, we start visioning first because people forget the dream. They forget
Exactly.
that it sounds so big. It sounds like, oh my God, I want to do this, but how can I? You know, it's just so big. I tell them that's the one, not the little dream. Those are good too. Those are good stepping stones. But that big one, that's the
Yep.
one. And you hear people, even in your own background, you can say, well, I was over here, I was over there, but look at you. You, Dr. Lotus Ritchie, are affecting people
Exactly.
all over the world. I don't know when you thought you'd be able to do that. I don't know if you were a little girl and say, I'm gonna, everybody in the world is gonna, hear from me, but that's been lost with a lot of people. They can only believe what's in front of them. That's the mindset.
Sure.
And if they can't see it, they may not believe it. But everything that's happening around us all the time is also happening on a very invisible realm. That's where spirituality comes in.
Exactly. Exactly. And I
It's
think a lot of
important.
times we miss that because we're so inundated with the noise all around us. And we are very much disconnected with the sound and the love and the message that we're supposed to be getting from the inside.
Absolutely. The pandemic
Mhm.
was something we've never ever experienced in the world, but people were still for a minute. They were still, and they were connecting with themselves in a way that they never have. Connecting
Right.
with their
Mhm.
family, their
Yep.
children. People were able to actually hear themselves, hear their children, hear that small,
Mhm.
um, small voice
Yeah.
that is speaking to them, that divine, power. And a lot of people have changed their lives in the midst of this tragedy and this sadness and
Yep.
and grieving. They have what the Dr. Jeff calls post-traumatic growth.
Growth.
And
Mhm.
people are doing that because they have had the opportunity to get to work with their own mindset,
Yep.
develop that inner relationship so that they don't have so much of the fear to start over or to leave that
Exactly.
job that was killing them and to
Yes.
start their own
Yes.
and to
Yes.
start their own
Yes.
business. They went to work every day angry on high blood pressure medications,
Yep.
anxiety pills, just because they didn't want to be in a particular place that they thought they had to be, because that was the mindset and that was where they're supposed to be. And that's not how we should live if we want to be healthy.
Exactly. So I want to do a check-in because I saw Hillary say, are you narrow-minded?
I was
That's a
laughing
good
at that.
question.
Yeah.
Are you narrow-minded? Do you know somebody that's narrow-minded? And come on, let's be transparent, because check this out. Many people have stayed on jobs, like you said, a lot longer than they should have. And I think a lot of times, even in the pandemic, people were afraid to create their own companies, even though the writing on the wall was saying, you're not going to have a job. If you can't work from home, you're not going to have nothing. But they said, no, I got to have this job. I got to do whatever. And they wouldn't even push themselves into doing something for themselves because they were narrow-minded, or they were stuck, or they were afraid. And now you talked a little bit about fear. So I got some secret sauce. I want to talk to you about fear. Here's one of the questions that came up about fear. And I want to talk about fear and the mindset of fear. Because, Doc, you wrote a book. Pow!
Oh, you got it.
I got it! Fear. It's a good thing. Fear, it's a good thing. So, if we may, I'd like to talk about that. And then I would like you to tell us why so many people, in your opinion, are just so fearful. I personally think that we're taught fear. I don't think that fear is something that we're born with. I think we're taught fear. And so before we get deep into this, because this is gonna be, I'm telling you, you think she came in here and she dropped the mic, she about to drop the mouse, the cups, and everything else. Okay? Because this is real. So if you viewers out there, if you would please go ahead, if you know that you have lived a part of your life in fear, and you were afraid of the fear, or you thought fear was bad, and you want to learn something about fear and how it's a good thing, go ahead and put a number 6 in the comment block below. Put a 6 in the comment block below, and we'll be right back to continue the show. We'll be right back. My computer is like, nah, y'all not going nowhere. Y'all gonna talk about this fear. For real. I said we coming right back, but look, my computer's saying no. Y'all gonna talk about fear. So Doc, this has gotta be for somebody. This has gotta be for somebody. So let's get into it. We'll go to a commercial break later. So let's talk about it.
Yeah. Babies are not taught. Babies come into the world free spirited, and they do learn fear, from the simple things.
Yes.
Hot. It's hot. Don't touch that. It's cold.
Yep.
And so, but in the book, in the main book, fear through the stages, because we learn about the good fear, which would save our life, the preventive fear. We learn about courage and instinct, all the good, and intuition and instinct. Those are all good fears, right? It will save your life. It will have you to change your mindset so that you can live a little longer if you get a diagnosis about your health. But a lot of the stories that we hear as we're growing up around the table, and people have had these frightening experience, and then the family a lot of times pass it on.
Yes.
Now you don't go out here and do this because this is going to happen to you. I know that. And I want you to be aware of it. Now they may think that some of the fears that they pass on to us are helpful to us and may save us. And a few things, some of them are like, don't pet a snake. That was a good one.
That won't be wise.
Well, if you're in the city going in the country, you may do that, but don't do it. But in our health, in our job, don't be who you are. Don't be too big. People will think this about you.
Yeah.
Don't let them know what you're thinking, because you don't want nobody to think you're a fool.
Exactly.
In a relationship, Don't let them know how you really feel. Don't let her know how you really feel.
Right.
There are so many fears that are passed on without any evidence of that fear ever happening to that person. Everybody who have experienced fear, it doesn't mean that the next person is going to experience the same fear. And we pass that on, to our children. We pass that on. I mean, in every area: health, work, school, everywhere. How can you help but not feel fears that you cannot explain why you're afraid of it? And a lot of times you say, well, why are you afraid of it? I don't know. My mother was afraid of my last partner was so afraid of that I just felt like I shouldn't even try it. And we get into that, and that's damaging to our relationship with ourselves. That same good fear that I'm writing about, that intuition and instinct, it will warn you, but you have to be able to hear the noise. The noise is deliberate. It's intentional to distract us from ourselves. It really is.
Wow.
In a workplace, there are no windows. When people will say, I can't breathe, there's no air, they will go outside and take a walk. You know how some of these buildings are, they all the windows are locked, there's not a lot of fresh air. They won't go for a walk. They'll sit there and complain.
Yep.
They don't even think, I could just, on my break, I could just go outside, and get some air. Or I don't have to be in this particular relationship because everybody said that this was the best for me, that I should go in this direction. There are so many levels, of fear that we become indoctrinated. We walk with it, and it's automatic. We're on automatic pilot with our fear. Exactly. So again, I say step back and feel your feelings and ask yourself, is this real? Exactly. Because a lot of fear that we have, just based on, from being a young child to growing up, we make it up in our head. We make it up, we certify it, we even pray that it's taken away from us, but we really we haven't experienced it, and we don't believe it. And so Dr. Hillary said in our last show, she said, are you disrespecting fear? And I thought about that, and I'm like, yeah, you can disrespect fear, because the good fear that can save you, if you live in that dark fear in that cave, no one will be able to save your life. You won't be able to save yourself.
Exactly.
Because you're operating outside of the relationship of yourself.
Right. Wow.
And you can change that. You can change that in the holy instant. You can change that right now. You don't have to wait. People say, well, maybe later I'll, when I change my mind, when I'm ready, then I can believe that. Well, you can believe and change your mind in the holy instant. Practicing change is what's really hard, because we forget, we fall back, we go default right back into our old ways. And we have to remind ourselves. That's why it's important to keep positive people around you. It's good to, protect your ears and what you see, what you hear, what comes out of your mouth. We have to be mindful, practice mindfulness, because if we don't, we will fall back into the default. And when we do, we will blame everything outside of ourselves instead of being accountable to ourselves. And we owe ourselves that.
Exactly. And so I want to jump right into your book for a minute. And my computer's still doing some things, so if we lose connection, it's okay. But I want to jump into day 14 of your book, and it's the page 46 where you talk about long distance relationships.
Oh yeah.
And when you go into there, you quote a very famous individual that says, too many of us are not living our dreams because we are not living our fears, by Les Brown. And I want to talk a little more about that. We are afraid to live our fears so that our fears can fall off, is what I believe. Because a lot of fears, like you said, we're taught as children. Mm-hmm. But because we won't step into that paradigm, if you will, of fear and be in that moment, like Ayala Van Zandt said, that she knew it was fear. And when she knew it was fear, I know it's you, and I'm not dealing with you today. But a lot of us don't want to live in the moment of the fear and face it and walk through it. And a lot of times that's why we fail. That's why we succumb to disease. That's why we have failed relationships. That's why we speak to people the way we speak to them. That's why a lot of the things in life don't go right because we're so focused that fear is bad rather than good.
Yes. So absolutely true. Absolutely true. And I personal story. I was very articulate, and I spoke 2 languages. And I was in law school, and I was living in San Diego, and I was pedestrian hit by a car. I was in a coma. I was paralyzed on the left side. And when I woke up, a minute at a time, that's how much consciousness I had to build myself up to a half a day to a day, and wonder if I could walk or not walk. But my mother, who's 5'2", who's 103 now, God bless her, she says, "Yeah, you'll be fine." And I believed her more than I believed the doctors. But I also had the fear that, my goodness, I can't remember all the words. I can't remember. I don't have the same recall. So my narrative was, maybe if I'm just quiet, and which is not my nature, really, to be quiet, and kind of be a little bit more invisible, I can survive this. But I just really can't. Maybe I cannot do the things that I thought I could do. But then I had a moment where I did the divine experiment, which means that I decided that I would trust God, and I would do what I needed to do. And that's what I did. And that's why I'm able to be here today. Now I'm split in the middle of the screen. Come in, so come on in. Come on in.
There we go.
Come on back, Dr. Lotus.
It's a storm here. It's a little bit of a storm, I was told. But go ahead, Doc.
Thunder and lightning over here like crazy.
Wow.
which is a fear. Now I'm working with my fear because I know that thing that disturbs me, but I'm just trusting, and I'm staying a little bit back, and I'm staying here. So I was saying, I don't know how much they heard, that when I came out of the coma, I couldn't talk the way I used to talk. My narrative was what the doctors were saying to me. Well, you can do crossword puzzles. You can live in a wheelchair, and and it was like, am I going to believe the higher report, or am I going to believe what the doctor's saying? Exactly. And I decided to do the divine experiment. And the divine experiment meant that I would be better than what I was, whether I could remember all the words, whether I had the perfect recall, because there is no perfection, and I would just do as much as I can, because I'm not alone. Right. And this is why I'm here today, because otherwise I would be doing crossword puzzles, which I don't know how they thought that, and still in the wheelchair, because when I brought the wheelchair back to the doctors, they wanted to know how I did it. And when I told them about spirit, they were like, oh.
Wow. And Janet Blackman said fear can be crippling.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It can stop you.
You didn't let fear cripple you. And Angela said, we fear itself and become stagnant. And that is so true. And we cannot become stagnant in our lives when it comes to moving forward. We have got to rise up. We have got to do something new. And I like what you said earlier, Dr. Baraki. You said revision something new. Revision. Come out of tunnel vision is what I got.
Yes.
And revision something new, because you can't. Not because you shouldn't, but because you can. And you want to read what Janet Blackman said?
Glory.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what's hard for people, to give up that fear. For some people, there's a comfort zone, and who would I be without my fear?
Exactly.
So it's like, I'm just too afraid, but a lot of times we have, if you really think about it, a lot of our fears, we have already lived them already.
Of course.
And we're still here. So does that, sometimes doesn't make you wonder that I have to really question this. I don't run from my fear, because I know that then it will double team me. Then I'll start making up stuff. That's where the stagnation comes from. When you run away from fear, you suppress it, then you start making up stuff. But when I say, well, what are you here to teach me? What is it I need to learn here? Because I really feel this. But
Eh, eh,
there's something here for me to learn from it, because fear is an
right.
advisor. It is a good teacher.
Exactly. Exactly. So I want to share with folks, because this book that you've given, Fear is a Good Thing, right? I read that earlier, but the Good Fear Guided Journal. The Good Fear Guided Journal. Let's talk about why we must have a good fear journal.
I think it's important to have a good fear journal so that it can remind us of where we are right now, what we've overcome, all of the things that were challenging us, that we use our instinct. You know how some people say, well, something told me, or my gut, or my first mind. All of that is that good fear. I termed it that because people always look at fear one way, as bad. So I said, there's good fear. So that instinct, that intuition, and the courage. And we don't think about that a lot of times when we go on with, we just go right back into default in the narratives. I'm so afraid. But hey, do you remember when you overcame this? Do you remember when you stepped out and you helped that person, you saved that person, you saved yourself, and our work you put in, that you took care of all of these people? Now it's your time, and you're afraid to step out because you haven't had that experience, because you've been taking care of everybody else. Or if I stop eating Hershey bars every day and drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night and telling my doctor that I can't sleep and him giving me medication, if I change my diet and I'm not drinking coffee at 10 o'clock at night or eating chocolate all day long and not having, 3 meals a day, 5, whatever, maybe my life will change. I'll have a different nutrition. My body will have a different nutrition response to me.
Exactly.
So it's
Exactly.
important to have that. That's why I made it as a journal. The book will be out in a couple of months. It's pretty much written, but I wanted people to write. I wanted them to challenge themselves. I want them to think about the questions, and I put into a 30-day journal with just a few words from people who have experienced it, or people who have come through it, who have come through something that maybe even more horrific than we've been through, and they are where they are. Nobody's an overnight success.
That's true.
People have been working at it and past their fears. There are a couple of actresses and actors that have mental health challenges with anxiety. They've come out, with anxiety, they're bipolar and different things. And one of them in an interview said, "What makes me such a good actress is that I am so afraid of me that I play anybody else better than I play myself."
Right.
And I said, that's deep. That's deep. But it created a fortune for them. And now they're using that to help other people.
Wow.
They're using
So,
that because of their fear. They confronted it.
So, Doc, how can people get this book?
This book is in stores and it's on Amazon. It actually is faster to find if you just pop my name in there.
Yeah.
And you can find that book. And I'm thrilled when people
So,
tell me I bought a
I'm,
book for me and my friends, and we're working in
yeah.
the workbook.
So, Dr. Baraki, I'd like you to put the link in here, and I'm gonna pull this up, um, so that people can go ahead and grab this book. Because one thing I like about the book is an easy read, and if you look in here, you can write right here. These are
Yeah.
for reflections. I like that you talked about giving and receiving, and I don't want to give too much away from the book, but you talk about sleep is good. You talk about like being over 60 and 70 and not succumbing to the fear of I'm 60 or 70, I can't change.
Age.
I can't do something. And I really, really like that.
It's
So,
never too late to be who you could have become. Is one of the wrote there, because
yes.
it's never too late to be who you want to be. Aging is I don't know who made up the numbers. I'm not even sure. I'm reading the Bible. I think Sarah had a baby at. So sure we should really get into those numbers, because some people they get into the numbers. They're like, oh, I'm 30 now. I should be married. I should have a baby. I'm 40, or
Exactly.
oh, I'm 50. I need
Exactly.
to retire. Well, what are you going to do? I don't know. sit on the couch. I don't know.
And I know people who have got into marriages, who have had children with people in a rush, because culturally their culture tells them, no, you need to be married at 25, 30. You need to be married. If you're not married, there's a problem. Well, guess what? No. You have to move into what God has for you when it's your time.
Exactly.
And so I want to invite each and every one of you to go to check out Dr. Baraki. I want you to go ahead and grab her book. And here's where you can go. You see her beautiful face, right? And if you look on your side of the comment block, there's the link. There's her name for you. And I'm going to grab the link right here for you. And you can go ahead and grab the book. Okay. Connect with her, and she will help you help yourself understand how fear is a good thing. Okay. So go there right here. It's there for you. You can click right on it and it'll take you right to it. Okay.
Dr. Lotus, this link will take you to a book. Fear is a good thing. When I was in business
Right.
booths. So that is a free chapter that they can access and read, but it's not the same as the book.
Right. Okay.
It's not the same as the book on Amazon.
On Amazon.
That's the workbook journal.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Amazon. I had a little time finding it on Amazon, but
if you put my name in, it pops up. I'm talking,
like you've given it, and voila, like she said, it will pop up. And so I share with you, go ahead, go straight to Amazon, put her name in. I've already put it in the chat. Go right here. Book is very reasonable. You can get your book. And look, if you get your book now, it says there's only 6 left in stock. Only 6 left in stock. If you go ahead and order your book now, you can get this book by Friday. So go ahead and order your book now. And when you order your book, let me know that you've ordered your book. And I'd like to invite you to a secret sauce, something special that's going to go on with this book right here. That's right. Secret sauce. But you got to get the book to find out the secret sauce. Okay? Got to get the book to find out the secret sauce. And then you need to inbox me and say, Dr. Lolo, I got the book. And I'm going to move that out the way. I got the book, Dr. Lolo. And I want to be a part of the secret sauce for this book. Okay. And so once you do that, I'm going to give you some secret sauce on what's coming up with the book that I'm going to be doing. That's right.
Oh, thank you. That's fabulous. That's fabulous. And I've also put in the chat, for people who want to have a discovery session and see, if they're sabotaging themselves or if business is not where they wanted to be, or they're already successful, but now, their mindset is stuck. Because that is the secret sauce, mindset. That they can have a free discovery session with me. So I put that in the link as well.
Yeah, so, I love it. And so if you wanna jump into a discovery session with Dr. Baraki, she will blow your socks off. I will show you on my feet because my socks are already blown off. But I'm just telling you, she will blow your socks off. She is a woman of just brilliance. And it's time. If you're stuck in sabotage, if you're stuck in fear, I tell you, now is the time for you to break the chains of fear. Now is the time for you to break the chains of sabotage, because all fear isn't fear that's going to cause you failure. It's not fear that you should be afraid of, but it's fear that can be healthy for you and for those that you love and care about. So with no further ado, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. And then we're going to go right to our words of wisdom with the remarkable Dr. Nyla Baraki. And if you have not connected with her, you're going to have about 1 minute and 16 seconds. There's the link, and it's on your side already. Somebody say, yes, Lord. So, yes, Lord, go ahead and connect. You have about 1 minute and 16 seconds. Go ahead and connect with her. And once you do it, let us know that you have connected. We'll be right back.
I had the opportunity to work with Lotus Lachey and her team to create a promo video for my business. And let me tell you, she and her team are pretty darn outstanding. I had recorded a video that we were going to use in the promo. And during our meeting, they actually walked me through what worked in the video, and they provided suggestions for improving the video so that I can actually capture the audience and the clients that I want and the people that need my services. They actually told me what I could add to the video and how to set the entire thing up so that when people watch that promo, they will come away knowing who I am, what I do, and why they should contact me. So if you have the chance to work with Lotus Lachey and her team, you are not going to be disappointed.
That was beautiful. I can't hear you.
So thank you so much, Dr. Baraki. I appreciate you. And thank you, Vanessa Harrell. And if you would like to contact us and connect with the Lotus Lachey Ignite team to get you and your video right and tight for your business, make sure you click on the link below. And it's also in the comment area for you to click right to it. Schedule an appointment with us and let's get you going. And don't forget, if you are sick and tired of being bound by fear, being bound by self-defeating thoughts, it's time for you to connect on the Calendly link that you see with Dr. Baraki and go ahead and let her help you move to the next level of your brilliance. And so, with final words of wisdom coming up next from Dr. Baraki, the stage is yours. Dr. Baraki, please.
Well, I'll keep the words of wisdom very short. You have one life to live, and this is no dress rehearsal. You do not want to get to the end of your life with all those fears that you have in your head that never played out and say, I wish I could have. Because you know what? Then it'll be too late. Live life now.
Mic drop. That's all I can say. Mic drop. And so, my final words of wisdom are these. I want to thank you, Dr. Baraki, for coming on the show, lighting up the atmosphere with sharing your intelligence, your wisdom, your knowledge, your love and light about the power of your mindset. And I know, folks, we couldn't cover it all on one show. But I'm going to welcome Dr. Baraki back. And maybe we can have her come on at least once a month and we can talk about mindset. So, with no further ado, I'm going to say, Dr. Baraki, would you come back at least once a month to talk about mindset?
I'd be honored to come back because there's so much to go with it. We got to talk about money and mindset.
Exactly, money and mindset. So the next show you'll see from Dr. Baraki and me is going to be about money and mindset. And we're going to prepare that for you so that it can help you do what you need to do when it comes to your money and mindset.
Absolutely.
And Janet Blackman said, live life now. Wow, that's right. Golden nuggets from Dr. Baraki. And she said, more of Dr. Please. Yes, of course.
I'm telling you, my cheeks are big from blushing over here. I thank you so much. I thank you, Dr. Lotus, for having me and the work that you do. I think I've listened to your show at least a couple of times a day. Even in the midst of work, I stop and I listen, and I'm always, and I learn. And people from all over the world come just to hear your thoughts and the people that you share with us to give us nuggets of things, because we're always learning, we're always growing. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you.
Really
so much.
appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And to our viewers and to those who are going to hit the replay, make sure you continue to follow us. Make sure you continue to send us your love. Support the program. You can hit us up on PayPal, Cash App, all of those ways you can connect with us. But most importantly, more important than dollars is your love and your time. And I greatly appreciate the way you spend your love and your time with us and with those around the world. And remember this, always ignite and take flight in every area of your life and bring inspiration to every nation. Why? Because you can. We thank you and have a good night.
Thank you. Give praise. Peace.
Thank you for watching the show, and be sure to follow us on Instagram, like and share, and let us know that you care. Also, let us know what other type of shows you'd like us to present just for you. Thank you. Oh yeah, y'all. She came, she saw, and she got the mic just like you like. Dr. Balaki. That's right. Raise your hands up. We have had a great time with Dr. Balaki, and we know you have too. So make sure to come on through and do what you gotta do. Like, share, and share this broadcast with someone that means something to you. And until we meet